New Year's Day 2024. Downtown Miami, hundreds of cops descend on an outdoor shopping mall. The roads are shut down. Helicopters are overhead flying. The official story? Teenagers with fireworks. But that doesn't explain what dozens of people saw walking through the crowd that night, or why authorities still refuse to release the footage. On January 1st, 2024, about 50 teenagers caused chaos at Bayside Marketplace, an outdoor mall about 5 miles from South Beach. That's the official story from Miami police. Fireworks were set off. People panicked, thinking it was shooting, and cops showed up to restore order. 4 juveniles were arrested. Case closed, right? Except for one problem. The response was absolutely massive. We're talking about dozens and dozens of police cars, witnesses describing what looked like every cop in the city converging on one location. Police temporarily shut down roads near the mall and warned people to avoid the area because a large crowd of unruly juveniles. About an hour later, at 11:30 p.m., police said the roads were reopened for a teenage brawl and some fireworks. Let's be clear about something. Bayside Marketplace is a busy, open-air waterfront shopping center in downtown Miami. It's the kind of place that sees crowds, especially on holidays. And this was a holiday. And yes, sometimes teenagers cause problems. But what happened that night triggered a response that people who were there say they'd never seen before. Within hours of the incident, social media exploded. Videos showed an overwhelming police presence. The phrases Miami Mall and aliens in Miami were among the top 10 searches on Twitter's trending tab. But it wasn't just the number of cops that got people's attention. Multiple witnesses came forward with eerily similar stories. Reports claimed that there were 7 to 10 feet tall creatures and beings running around the shopping area and attacking people. Let me repeat that. Not one person, multiple independent witnesses describing the same thing. Extremely tall figures, somewhere between 7 and 10 feet tall, moving through the mall. According to witness statements circulated on social media and local reporting, over 10 people claimed to have seen 3 unusually tall figures, thin, exiting a clothing store within the mall. The descriptions were consistent. Shadowy, gray, humanoid, but wrong somehow, moving in ways that didn't look quite human, on top of the fact that they were taller than people get. One video in particular went absolutely viral. It showed what people claimed was an 8-foot-tall figure near the mall entrance. The footage was grainy, taken at night, and you can see something tall and dark moving in a way that doesn't quite match up with normal human proportions or movement. But AI does exist, so who knows? Miami Police Department spokesperson Officer Michael Vega came out swinging against the alien theories. He flat out said there were no aliens. No UFOs, no extraterrestrials. He posted on social media with facepalm emojis, basically calling everyone who believed the stories ridiculous. His explanation for the viral video, it was just a shadow. A regular person walking, and their shadow made them look taller than they were. But here's where things get more interesting. The math isn't mathing. Over 60 police vehicles responded to this incident. That's confirmed. A helicopter was deployed. Major roads, including Biscayne Boulevard between 2nd and 4th Streets, were completely shut down. This is a major traffic artery in downtown Miami, and they closed it for a group of teenagers? The police response to the Bayside incident has been compared to mass casualty events. Some people online pointed out that more cops showed up to this mall than responded to active shooter situations at major venues. And yet, at the end of the night, 4 teenagers were arrested for burglary, grand theft, and resisting an officer. 4 kids, 60-plus police cars, a helicopter, road closures, hours of lockdown. Does that sound proportional to you? Here's what should have ended this entire debate. Body cam footage. Miami police officers wear body cameras. If this was really just teenagers fighting and setting off fireworks, there should be hours of video showing exactly that. Clear, definitive proof that would make everyone saying aliens look silly. That footage has never been released. Not a single frame of it, not 1 second of body cam video from any responding officers. And the Bayside Market has security cameras, obviously, throughout the property. That footage has not been released either. In an age where everyone has a phone, where surveillance is everywhere, where transparency is supposedly a priority for law enforcement, we have zero official video from inside the incident. The absence of this footage is deafening. If you're Miami PD and you want to shut down a conspiracy theory that's gone global, you release the video. What's the harm in that? You show the teenagers, you show the fireworks, the fight, you prove your case and you move on. They have not done that, and people have noticed. So what do people think was actually going on that night? The most popular theory goes like this. The teenagers and the fireworks were real, but they created the perfect cover for something else. Think about it. You have mass chaos, noise, confusion, people running and screaming because they think someone's shooting. In that environment, if something unusual appears, even briefly, it's going to be extremely difficult for anyone to get clear footage or a solid look. Most people are focused on getting to safety. The theory suggests that the juvenile disturbance provided the smokescreen for a containment operation. These entities that multiple witnesses described didn't stay long. They appeared, they were seen, and then the overwhelming police response created a perimeter. Roads closed, area locked down, and whatever needs to be contained or removed could be handled under the cover of handling a teenage riot. Some witnesses claimed they were approached by law enforcement or unidentified officials who told them to delete videos from their phones. These stories spread quickly online, with people saying that they were intimidated, followed, or threatened into staying quiet. Now, I need to be clear about this. These were claims made on social media and in online forums. They're not verified by mainstream reporting, but the pattern is consistent with other alleged encounters where people claim evidence was confiscated. The most bizarre twist in this story involves a witness known online as Fitz. According to posts circulating in mystery communities on TikTok, Fitz claimed to have captured definitive footage of the entities on what people described as a VHS tape. The analog format was supposedly significant because it couldn't be easily dismissed as AI-generated or digitally manipulated. The story gets murkier from there. According to various online accounts, this is the theory. The Department of Defense confirmed that Fitz may have witnessed something classified, and that his footage was considered classified material. Then, again, according to online theories and TikTok posts, Fitz retracted his story, admitted that it was a hoax, became unwell, and disappeared. I want to emphasize, these details about Fitz came from online communities and social media, not verified sources. But the story has become part of the Bayside lore. Whether it's true, partially true, or entirely fabricated, it represents how this incident has taken on life of its own in the public consciousness. The Bayside incident happened in January 2024. By the end of that week, it had mostly disappeared from mainstream news coverage. But online, in forums and social media, people are still talking about it, still analyzing the videos, still asking questions. And as evidenced by this podcast, so am I. The official explanation asks us to believe that a standard teenage disturbance required a response bigger than what many cities deploy for genuine emergencies. It asks us to accept that dozens of independent witnesses all misidentified the same thing in the same way. It asks us to ignore the fact that in our hyper-documented world, there's somehow no official footage available to clear everything up. Miami sits right there on the water, near Biscayne Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. Historically, a lot of UFO sightings and strange phenomena have been reported near large bodies of water. The city also has a culture that's pretty open to unconventional ideas. And this incident didn't happen in a vacuum. Just months earlier, in July 2023, a former military officer testified to Congress that lawmakers were being kept in the dark about unidentified aerial phenomena. The public conversation about government transparency regarding UFOs and non-human intelligence was already happening. So when people in Miami saw a massive unexplained police response and started talking about tall shadow figures, it fit into a larger narrative that was already unfolding. The Bayside incident remains unsolved because the people with the answers refuse to provide them. Until Miami police releases the body cam footage, until someone can explain why 60 vehicles and a helicopter were necessary for 4 juvenile arrests, Until we get transparency instead of ridicule, this story is going to keep circulating. And maybe that's exactly what someone wants.